At the Farm Progress Show, I'm visiting with Will Cannon once again. And Will, here at the show, Ag Leader is showing this new downforce product that you just launched recently. We've got it in action. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, we're real excited to have our hydraulic downforce system here at the Farm Progress Show. And what we've got here is a display stand to illustrate the differences between the performance of an airbag downforce system versus our new hydraulic downforce system. So with this, we're able to highlight the parts that are needed on the planter and what all goes into it, and help show off some of the features.
Well, tell us about it. Show us. Sure.
So the whole system is, there's two main components to it on the row unit of the planter. The first one is the load pin that goes on the depth controlling member of the gauge wheels. So the customer will still set the depth that they want to plant at, as they always have traditionally in the past. But this sensor will measure how much weight is being carried by the gauge wheels as they're rolling across the soil. And the system's objective is we want to make sure that we have weight on the gauge wheels. That makes certain that the planter is firmly on the ground and that we're planting at the proper depth, so we get the good even emergence we need early in the season. But we don't want to have too much weight on the gauge wheels that we're creating compaction near the seed trench, where it's going to affect the root zone throughout the growing season.
All right.
So beyond the pen then, the other main component of the system is our hydraulic actuator. So this is kind of the muscle behind the system. So we have a single acting hydraulic cylinder. On the John Deere planters, it's really nice because it fits in place of the airbag. So you can simply remove the airbag and put the new downforce actuator in its place. Excuse me. And the actuator also comes with an accumulator. It's a little hard to see, but it's the bubble on the back side. And that accumulator allows the row unit to move freely up and down through its full range of travel. So if the row unit comes in contact with a rock or a terrace or whatever may be in the field, it allows the row unit to be able to travel freely throughout its full range of motion. So we don't have to worry about bending parallel arms or damaging anything on the row unit, but we still get a nice, even, consistent downforce throughout the full range of motion.
Tell me how important that is to a farmer today that's wanting to become more precise, even at like you said, at planting their seed.
Sure. Well, we're obviously learning more and more about the importance of even emergence, getting every plant up as close to one another as possible, so we don't have any weeds or any competition, plants that become weeds. So with this system, it's really helping to maintain a consistent planting depth, so we get that even emergence, but at the same time, it allows the system to adapt to our changing field conditions. So the customer is able to adjust the system. If they're going out and maybe it's a little wet, it's kind of marginal, but they got to get going. This system can help lighten up the row unit and try to get it to float across the field. And if they get into harder conditions like we saw this spring with real hard, dry soils, they can adjust the aggressiveness and help deal with those situations. And then within the field, the varying soil types and conditions they can run into, this system is monitoring the load sensor multiple times per second and making adjustments to the actuator multiple times per second. So the system is constantly reading and reacting to the field conditions as they change. And with the hydraulic system, it's reacting nearly instantaneously. So we're reacting to what's happening right then, whereas with airbag systems, because of the limitation of the airbag itself, you can only adjust the air pressure in small incremental steps. And so it takes much longer, upwards of 20 seconds for the airbag to adjust. And by then you're way down the row and the conditions are changing.
And I assume that this is data also that's being collected so that you've got it for how you planted that particular field, and you can kind of, again, be accumulating data to analyze year to year.
Absolutely. So our Integra display is the feedback for the operator in the cab, and the display is going to show them how much load is being carried by their gauge wheels. It's going to show them how much force is being applied by the actuators, and then it's also showing them how often they're planting at proper depth, and will alarm if they aren't planting at proper depth for whatever reason. And so that system is also logging all that information, along with all the other features we can do, such as population monitoring, So the Integra is really what brings the whole thing together and gives the customer a full-featured single monitor they can have in the cab with them.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Looks like you got a crowd back behind me here that's ready to jump in for the next show. Thank you very much, Will Cannon.
Thanks.